Marina Bay hosted a Grand Prix that briefly ran in the 60s and 70s, but the Garden City re-entered the calendar for good in 2008. We missed it for a couple of years, but it was great to come back to the Singapore Grand Prix. And here's our track, 4.94 kilometres long, and overtaking chances into the first corner, into turn 14 at the end of the Esplanade, and now into turn 16 in the newly reprofiled sector that we first ran on in 2023. Still though, it's punishing and tough on the brakes, and the heat and humidity will take an effect on our drivers. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Oscar Piastri lines up on pole position, and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Fernando Alonso, Antonelli, Lando Norris, and Tsunoda, Ocon, Russell, Hadjar, and Lewis Hamilton, Doohan, Hülkenberg, Alex Albon, and Bortoleto, Sainz, Behrman, Pierre Gasly, and Liam Lawson. Stroll and Charles Leclerc completes today's grid order. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track. And joining me in the commentary box today with the best view on what is about to unfold and some strong views on the action we're about to see, Naomi Schiff. I know what we've got to do before the start of today's race, but what about our driver? What do the final hours look like for them?
Well, every driver certainly has their own way of preparing themselves before a race. But I can tell you that pre-race rituals are a real thing. When I was in go-karting, I used to touch every wheel in a specific sequence before I got into the kart. And then I stepped up to cars and had a specific set of fireproof base layers just for race day. So watch the drivers when they're on the grid. Some may be sitting on the floor and isolating, others may be up to other things that they do. But these little things really help their minds get ready for the race.
All right, let's have a quick radio check, please. Radio check.
Yeah, all good, thank you.
DRS now enabled. DRS enabled. You might experience some understeer now that you're in the wake of the car ahead. Try to get past as soon as possible. Okay, mate, final lap. Keep your concentration and let's bring it home.
the other guys in front were doing, but at the beginning I felt like I was quite in a good place.
Oscar Piastri, take a bow. What a performance, what a win.
And they led every single lap of the race. It was a light to flag victory, and that is total dominance.
We had drama from start to finish, but in the end, there was only ever one that could take that top spot. They give out trophies for the winners. Today, they're Oscars. Your winner today, Oscar Piastri. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time out? Be sure to join us once again as we continue to bring you all the excitement of Formula One.